Notre Dame 37, Pittsburgh 15. Final score I'm calling it Heinz Stadium or Heinz Field. I don't care. I don't care whatever it's called now. But what a performance by the Fighting Irish. Eric, one of the weirdest games I feel like I've seen in a long time. That this game really did have it all. Your initial reaction for folks watching this back on YouTube or listen to this as a podcast, we just clicked go live as soon as the game ended. So very raw reaction here, Eric. What are your thoughts about that win for the Fighting Irish on the road?
I think it was a big resume boost for Notre Dame. Not only did they beat a top 25 team, they beat them into the ground despite the garbage touchdown with no time left. Just Notre Dame led with its defense. When we talk about why those games in September and late August aren't as weighted as much, it's because of the transformation of this defense. They came to play today and they set the tone for everybody else on this team.
How about that defense, huh?
Well, 0 for 13 on third down, Pitt was. They called a timeout with 5 or 6 seconds left to have a fourth down play, and they did score on the fourth down play. But that's the fewest yards Pitt has scored or has put up this year against anybody. And they have been on a roll with Mason Heinschel. They held him to under 80, I think it was in the 70s for pass efficiency rating. That's really, really a poor pass efficiency rating. And I felt bad for the kid because there wasn't a lot of help for him. But Notre Dame had an excellent defensive game plan. Then they got enough from everything else. I mean, CJ Carr didn't have his best statistical game, but he got Notre Dame into the right looks. He was big when he needed to be. And then you got enough of Jeremiah Love's Heisman kind of magic to really set the tone offensively for this team as well. But, I mean, big turnovers, even little things from a point standpoint, Adon Schuler returning a 2-point conversion for over 100 yards for a 2-point score for Notre Dame when Pitt was trying to go for a 2-point conversion. Just so many good things in this game for a team that really looks like I'm going to have to eat a turkey leg in a couple of weeks, because I said if Notre Dame goes in 10-2, and I thought they would, I would eat a giant turkey leg on one of our shows.
Yeah, you said that on our roundtable show after the A&M game, and of course we'll have that show tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Looking forward to that. Tin Rand, thanks for the 5. Says it was not 100 points, but another win is what we like to see. The thing about Love is that you can hit that X, O, or square button, and his sliders are 99. Of course, talking about how Love is a video game. And then Super Saiyan Nick, $2 super chat, says Pat Narduzzi is Bush League. Thank you guys for starting off the show with a couple of super chats. I would just like to remind you, Eric, we are in a movie, so please silence your cell phones and pagers. And all right, Eric, how about this? Let me pull up my tweet. This was one of my most favorite tweets. Now this was at the end of the third quarter. Notre Dame's offense had scored 21 points. The defense, and we're including extra points, right? The defense, 9 points with the Tay Johnson pick 6 and then the Adon Schuler pick 2. The Pitt offense, 0 points. And this would have held true if not for and I'm calling it, a garbage time touchdown. Marcus Freeman, if that upsets you, I know you don't like that term. It's okay. Damn, I was literally watching the end of the game with Eric, and we were like, I was like, please don't score a touchdown, because my argument here is going to be, or my point here is going to be such a good one if they don't score. You know what? Screw it. We're not counting that touchdown. It doesn't count. I don't care. 0 points. Because the first CJ Carr interception, I think Pitt moved the ball 4 yards and kicked a field goal. That is not on the defense. And then Pitt had a pick 6. That, besides the last play, was nearly, Eric, a perfect outing for the Notre Dame defense on the road against an offense. A lot of Notre Dame fans were nervous. About this game. And Notre Dame's defense was lights out. Chris Ash, I'm not wearing a hat, but if I had one near me, I'd put it on and then take it off. Goodness gracious. This defense is outstanding. Who wanted Chris Ash fired? Put your hands up in the chat if it was you. And then shame on you. You got to believe, man. Sometimes you got to take your lumps. And here we are.
Well, I would say he did not deserve to be fired, but I do think that Marcus Freeman having that uncomfortable, as he called it, on purpose coaching meeting after the Purdue game was much needed. And the way that Chris Ash and everybody else responded to that was money.
Yes.
Because Chris Ash could have dug in his heels and said, hey, look, I'm the defensive coordinator here. And he listened and they collaborated. And this defense is playing really good football. And I'll tell you what, Syracuse and Stanford aren't as good as Pittsburgh. Had there not been the garbage touchdown, the Narduzzi, we feel sorry for you touchdown at the end of the game, it would have been the largest margin of victory in a road game against a ranked team for Notre Dame since Oklahoma in 1966.
Wow. Damn, garbage time touchdowns. 37-9. That would have been 37-15. Just, you know what my score prediction for the game was, Eric?
What?
33-18. I was like, don't ask me how these two teams are going to arrive at those totals, but 37-15 was not far off. I mean, 37 and 15 are two rare numbers. Man, I was close. Damn, I was closer.
I had picked 34-17 in mine.
That's
I had more conventional. I went out on a limb and predicted a field goal. That was the one thing that didn't happen in this game for Notre Dame, and there was an opportunity there when Notre Dame turned the ball over on downs. I think if I were Marcus Freeman at that point, it would have been maybe a 42-yarder. I think I would have kicked it, just not to run up the score, but to see if Eric Schmidt could make that field goal.
Even on the 4th and 3 where Card ran in the touchdown, I thought might be a really good opportunity to get Schmidt some confidence. I get why you go for it and do that, but also I guess if you miss it, now that kid is really in the dumps. People talk about he missed a 46-yarder. Kickers miss 46-yard field goals. He had the leg. It wasn't like just this terrible shank. I'm not down on Eric Schmidt because he missed a 46-yarder. I think it's cool that the staff had confidence in him to go kick that. Bo N.D. Johnson, J-Love is our strength, then the defense is second, and Ryan, the garbage-ist of garbage time touchdowns, and Donald with a $2 super chat. Thank you all very much for your support. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel for more content, and we'll have much more post-game coverage on our website, blueandgold.com. And then Tyler Horka and Jack Sobel will have their recap video from, again, I'm calling it Heinz Field. I don't care what they call it now.
Acrisure Stadium.
Don't care. Heinz Field. They'll have their post-game reaction video posted on this channel in a few hours. And when I say they, I mean I have to edit it. I'm just over the moon about this defense, Eric. And I'm really not trying to be an I told you so douche up here. But it's like, and then I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get off the topic. We're just going to discuss other things. A few weeks ago, it was like, well, let's just wait to see till the USC game. And then it was all about, Navy's coming to town. First-time defensive coordinators for Notre Dame don't do well against Navy. And, well, now you're going to Pitt and playing Navy and then Pitt back-to-back weeks. That's really difficult. Fine points, but Eric answered against USC, answered against Navy, answered against Pitt with a stamp. This defense, man, Notre Dame is now showing all of the haters your point about the progression of the team and the eye test. And so I love it for the Chris Ash side of things and the defense. And you make a great point, Eric. Yes, Freeman, had to come to Jesus moment. But for people thinking that Freeman is now calling the defense, I don't know what to tell you. You're just wrong. Like, Chris Ash running the defense, but they definitely adjusted things. And again, hats off to everyone involved in there. And this team is playing so freaking well. Get the kicking game figured out. CJ Carr, I'm not concerned about at all. He had a bad pick. Quarterbacks throw bad picks. And then the screen pass, I don't think you can really fault him for that. It goes on an interception on his book. Could he have seen that and tucked it and ran it or took a kneel? Sure. But you can't really fault him for doing exactly what he's asked to do to catch the football and throw it out on the screen pass. I can't really fault him for that.
I'll tell you what, the thing that I really like about this defense, where it's better than last year's and it's better in one category, is rush defense. They came into this game 15th in rush defense, and Pitt isn't a powerhouse running team, but they held them to 70 yards. A lot of those were in that garbage drive at the end, 70 rushing yards. It was way less than that for most of the game when the game was semi-competitive. But that's going to be really valuable if Notre Dame makes the playoff, and I do believe they will, to have a really good run defense. Notre Dame wasn't a top 25 run defense. They were 15 now. I think by the time the regular season ends, they will be 7th or 8th. Or maybe I should have said 6th or 7th.
Brain rot, Eric.
Sorry. We have Scooby-Doo in the chat.
Scooby-Doo's in the chat. How about that catch by Malachi Fields? Eric, we're going to go through some highlights of the game. We'll watch it together with our YouTube chat, and that is definitely one of them. There's so many different talking points from the 4th and 3rd downs for Notre Dame, the good and the bad there. But what about that vaunted Pitt run defense, Eric? Jeremiah Love ran 23 times for 147 yards and had a 56-yard touchdown. I mean, it was easy.
Well, and that's a very good sign for both Jeremiah Love, but more so for Notre Dame's offensive line. They took the retest from what they did early in the year when they played Miami and Texas A&M. Pitt was the highest ranked run defense they played all year. Miami is close to them, but Pitt was 3rd. And Jeremiah Love, I mean, they did get him for some 1-yard losses, but he also had some explosive runs, and Jadarian Price had some really good runs too.
Yeah.
175 yards on that run defense. That's more than double what they typically give up in a game. They were coming off a game where they gave up -10.
Yeah.
So hats off to Notre Dame's offensive line. This was a big game for them, and they showed up.
Eric, do you think that they got snubbed from the Joe Moore Award semifinalist list?
I don't think that they got snubbed. I think some of it was that you plugged in 2 new pieces, and those pieces were getting used to playing with the others.
Isn't that the reason they did get snubbed? Because I think they've been playing so well with 3 new starters.
I agree, but I also think when I look at them,
due to injury, 3 new starters due to injury. Sorry, go ahead.
Correct.
Eric.
3 new starters due to injury. I think Sullivan Absher has been playing really, really well, and Joe Otting way above what my expectations for him were. I thought initially Sullivan Absher would end up being the long-term solution at center, but Joe Otting played so well at USC, and then they needed Absher somewhere else. But I can't wait to talk to Landon Tengwell about him because and he was a big proponent last time we did some film breakdowns of Sullivan Absher. And I think Notre Dame is in really good shape. I do think they will get Billy Schrauth back in the playoff. And I think there's a chance they'll get Jagaza. But if you had to play with this offensive line, I think you'd feel pretty good about it.
Mike O'Keefe, $2 super chat. Thank you. He says, Ash serving slices of humble pie last few weeks. Yeah. I mean, look, the defense was bad. First half Texas A&M, first half Purdue. Otherwise, it's been adequate or even average, to really good this season. It's just 2 really bad halves of football. Remember the A&M game? A&M's offense in the second half scored 1 touchdown, and it should not have been a touchdown. We all know that was a holding on Donovan Hinish, right? And the A&M offensive lineman holding Heinrich. So, yeah, it's two bad halves. Yeah, Eric, let me go through some of my talking points. I thought Eli Raridan had a nice game. Yeah, he stepped out of bounds when we could have had a score there, but still, man, I thought he was. I mean, that was probably one of his best games of the season, right? He had how many yards is that? 67 receiving yards, if you can believe that, Eric. 10 targets has got to be a season high for him as well.
Well, and again, what a lot of people will say is, what happened to Jordan Faison? And this is what makes CJ Carr such a good quarterback and Mike Denbrock such a good offensive coordinator. They look for mismatches. They look for what the defense is going to give them instead of just forcing the ball to somebody. And Malachi Fields was one of the great options today. And Eli Raridan, obviously there was mismatches there because they went to him a lot. They felt like they could get the ball to him and he could do some damage down the field. And on some of those short yardage conversions, he became a weapon. So that was really impressive. Again, you look at CJ Carr's pass efficiency number in the 130s. That's not awful, but it's below what he normally does. The 2 picks really hurt that. But again, I love how he came back from the mistakes. I love how he managed the game at the line of scrimmage because the announcers pointed out at one point, I mean, Pitt typically blitzes almost 50% of its downs, and there's pressures coming from all over, and they disguise them very well. There was a corner blitz that got to CJ Carr, didn't sack him, but it forced a bad throw. But he really managed sliding the protections.
Yeah. This
version of CJ Carr is very dangerous. Even, again, a game where he has 2 interceptions, never got rattled, just came back and said, okay, I've got an answer for that. Let's just go down the field and score.
Yeah. I think he is unshakable, and I think that's a huge part of his game. And scores 3 man, if that's his bad game to complete 66% of his passes, throws for over 200 yards and scores 3 touchdowns, all right. I mean, what do you make of Denbrock from this game? Swan Dong $2 super chat. I hate screens. I mean, look, it's one of those things. If a screen works, it's like, oh yeah, it's a nice play.
Yeah. I mean, with as much as Pitt blitzes, I think you have to use the screen game some to try to slow that rush down and to try to take advantage of some of their aggressiveness on the blitzes. When they don't work, they look terrible.
Yeah. And then even like the 4th and inch or the 4th and goal from, the half-inch line or whatever that was, when you throw the ball there, you look like a genius if it works as a play caller, but you really, it's like, man, you can't, you have the 2 of the best running backs in the country and you can't pick up half of a yard. It's not a good look. I don't know if you had thoughts on that play call.
I know it bugs Notre Dame fans. I mean, they feel like, and even if you talk to former Notre Dame players, they'll say you ought to be able to, if you're Notre Dame. Now, again, you're going against one of the better defenses, and they had a lot of people at the line of scrimmage, and I could see why Notre Dame did that. But I do think as Notre Dame gets into its final 2 games against Syracuse and Stanford, they need to continue to look for answers, and they need to continue to be better on those downs. I think part of it, Mike, is because Ty Washington is your second tight end right now. He's not a physical blocker. I think if they had Cooper Flanagan at full strength, and they don't, he didn't even play today, I think Notre Dame has some different options on short yardage. I think that's going to be a big difference if he is able to come back. And he's only played 1 game, and I think it was 4 snaps against USC since he came back from that Achilles.
All right. Shift gears and let's talk about sponsor for today's show, ESQ, which is seen on all of your favorite Notre Dame players and coaches. Founded by Notre Dame alum Ga Wang, ESQ is your go-to spot for the best handmade custom suits, sport coats, tuxedos, shirts, and more. ESQ's master tailors combine next-level craftsmanship with the finest fabrics to deliver a fit that's built just for you. Now with showrooms in both downtown Chicago and in Winnetka, book your custom fitting at esqclothing.com. Make sure you mention Blue and Gold at your appointment and receive 10% off your entire purchase. Marcus Freeman has plenty of ESQ in his wardrobe, rocks it all the time. So check it out, esqclothing.com. Eric, let's look at some film, and then let's look around college football. Actually, before we do, thoughts on that Pitt touchdown being overturned? I know you posted about this. It was either on the message board or Twitter that you liked that look behind the scenes with the ACC referee crew, and I did. I thought that was cool as well. But did you agree with that call that it should have been overturned?
I actually did, and I know that Jesse Palmer and the rules expert on TV didn't. But I mean, it was good to see what the process was, how they arrived at it, whether I agreed or not with the decision. I mean, they wanted to see if where he had possession, was the knee touching when he had possession. And and they took a lot of time with it. I mean, they looked at it from different angles and they backed it up. I liked the process of it. And maybe I was looking with, blue or gold colored glasses and so forth. I tend not to do that, but I thought his knee was down and he had the ball. So for me, it was not in, but I also thought, okay. And Pitt ended up scoring pretty soon thereafter on the pick six. Where CJ threw it to Rasheem Biles.
Pick 4 actually is what they're calling it. Have you ever seen that's crazy? From a normal touch on an extra point, 7 points, you lose that when you go for 2 and it's picked, it turned it around the other way. It's a 3-point swing. That's fairly notable. Gave Notre Dame all the momentum back. Yeah, I agree. I just was a little surprised that they overturned it. It's like they've been reviewing it for at least 6 or 7 minutes. You would think that it was just going to call stand. I feel like it's what they do a lot of times, but yeah, credit to them. I do think they got the call right. All right, let's dive into some highlights from the game. Sometimes I get comments about this when I do this. People don't like it. If I'm not looking at the camera, it's because
I'll look at the camera. How's that?
I'm looking at this because this is where we're about to watch the film from. But so this is Jeremiah Love's touchdown. Austin with the $5 super chat. I am sorry, Chris Ash. You got to at least spell the guy's name right. It's 3 letters. Also, just teasing you, man. Thank you so much for.
If you give us $4.99, you can misspell it. We'll correct. We'll fix it up for you.
Just don't, make it to the rear end and call him that. But otherwise, if you're gonna misspell it, add an E and not remove the H and add an S. That's funny. Or maybe it's just funny to me. Austin, really do appreciate it. Yeah, I said this, Eric. There's just too much. There's too many smart coaches, from Freeman with experience to Ash to Mickens to Al Washington, who's coached linebackers and a defensive line, to Max Bulla, and too many good players. Like, put yourself back. What was that game? September 13th. Like, put yourself on September 14th and just think about, all right, all of these coaches with all their experience and how just good football minds with a D-line that's still got a lot of talent. The linebackers, we all love Drake Bowen and Kingston and those guys, to the secondary that has Adon Schuler and Leonard Moore. I'm like,
and was at full strength for the first time since the Miami game.
It's like they're gonna figure it out. Look, I was as frustrated as everyone else after those performances. I'm not trying to dismiss people who are upset by those performances. I was there with you, but it was they're going to figure this thing out. So there's just too many talented individuals, from the staff to the players, that they're not going to figure it out. And they did. Now, we'll see. So, if they win the next 2 games,
I'm eager to see Christian Gray's PFF score. I thought he was outstanding today because I thought he'd get picked on.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Should have had a pick. Austin, I appreciate it. You're all good, brother. All right. I'm off my soapbox. All right, let's look at this Jeremiah Love touchdown, Eric. How impressive was this run? This guy continues to make these like Heisman moments with these runs.
You get power, you get spin, and then you get speed. Nobody can catch him. But again, the big difference in young Jeremiah Love in this version is the power that gets him to the spin move. And then the spin move, I don't remember those from his freshman year. And then the speed, that's always been there.
Who's this pulling tight end, Eric? Is that Flanagan? Is that James or Jim Flanagan? James Flanagan.
What number is it?
I mean, he looks skinny. It looks like 88. Is he 88?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be.
That's James. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pulling. Yeah, 88. There he is. At least I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, this is really good blocking. Eli Raridan blocking, the linebacker, I believe. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Eric, but yeah, this is really good blocking. And then Love just making a guy miss at the second level.
You didn't cut me off. I was done talking.
Okay.
Yeah, but 88 is James Flanagan, and I think we're going to see him again more down the stretch. I thought we'd see him a little bit more, but on that play, he shows up. I think if Notre Dame has both Flanagans in the game with Eli Raridan, there are some options on short yardage that we're not seeing right now.
Yeah, beautiful spin indeed. All right, let's take a look at Tay Johnson's pick six.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this was the next scrimmage play, and he does jump on this one, reads it. Eric, like Tay Johnson, if I'm remembering his high school career correctly, he wasn't like a safety, I played safety in high school. Like he was just an athlete all over the place.
He said the last time he played primarily safety was his sophomore year. He played all over the place on defense. Yeah. His senior year, as you know, he got injured and he was their quarterback, Fort Wayne Northside's quarterback, out of necessity, kind of like Jalen Sneed was at his high school.
Yeah.
But he was really known for being a wide receiver, and a lot of people recruited him as that.
Basketball player.
Yeah, and Tay Johnson will tell you he's still one of Notre Dame's best wide receivers, and he showed it on that play. What's really impressed me, I mean, in the spring, I told you, he had been my spring football crush. We weren't teammates yet, but he was my spring football crush. I said, man, this guy could really turn into something. The thing that has surprised me, Mike, is how well he's gotten all the nuances. I thought he was a freak athlete, but there's a difference between being a freak athlete and a really good safety, and he's both. When Notre Dame put him in the starting lineup because Adon Schuler had a targeting penalty and he had to sit out, it was Adon and I think Stroman started, and then Adon stayed in the game, or Tay started that game and then stayed in the game when Adon came back in the second half and then became a starter the rest of the year. I think that was a big turning point for Notre Dame's defense as well, was him being a starter.
Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel for more content. If you like hearing from Eric Hansen, make sure you follow our second YouTube channel. It's in the link of the description of this video. He'll have a video with Tyler James later today where they'll even discuss more about the game. Eric will be on our roundtable show tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Football Never Sleeps on our second YouTube channel at 7 p.m. And then Tuesday, rankings reaction show. I will be out, so if you don't like me, it's going to be a great show for you. Try to get Landon on there too. You and Horka. Horka is going to do it with you, Eric. I don't even know if I told you that, but maybe get Landon on there. Trying to get Toma on in the next few days as well. So really good stuff.
Who else would you like me to get? You want me to get Chris Ash on as well?
Don't tease me. That would be amazing. If you got Chris Ash, I would probably cancel my plans and be on there with them. I just wonder. I don't think Chris Ash is a big social media guy, but has he seen me go to bat for him? I don't know.
I doubt that he has seen you go to bat, and I know that he's not a big social media guy.
Get Chris Ash. There you go. Wow. TP Adams says Glaze. That's crazy. Pablo, $5 super chat. Who are the leaders in this defense? Also good for Navy. Yeah, they beat my alma mater.
South
It's
Florida
okay.
Bulls.
And playoff bounds. I mean, if you're talking about Notre Dame playoff bound, yeah, I don't think Navy or I mean, could they be? Could Navy
if
be
they
playoff?
won their conference, they would have probably enough octane with their losses being to Notre Dame and North Texas, and then beating some pretty good. Their schedule is back end loaded. They have, I think, Memphis next week, and then they have Army. And if they then won the American Athletic Conference championship game, that also means they would have played a top tier team from that conference. I don't think they're out of it. I don't think probably they'll be the group of 6 team, but I don't think they're out of it. And it's a good thing for Notre Dame's resume that Navy ended up winning this game. It's not good for Mike's ego being an alum of South Florida, but it is good for. So, but I wanted to answer Pablo's questions. Let me give you a little bit collectively what Notre Dame did in this game. They had 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 8 pass breakups, and 10 quarterback hurries, a forced fumble collectively. And it's really balanced in terms of when you just look at raw tackles. Jalen Sneed ended up leading them in tackles, which I think would surprise some people, including me, with 6. Tay Johnson with 5, Jaden Osbury 4, a bunch of people with 2 and 3. But you look across the board, for example, early in the game, Josh Burnham, 2.5 tackles for loss. You had Adon Schuler was all over the place, and it doesn't show up in his tackle totals. He had 2 tackles, but he had a pass breakup. He had a quarterback hurry. He had the return for the 2 points. It was such a great team effort. Whoever they rotated in did a great job. And remember, this is a defense that's playing without Gabe Rubio. Again, the other thing is sometimes you get the best insights on people's defense by what the offense didn't do. And you look at the wide receiver numbers for Pittsburgh, and it's stunning because those guys have been ripping it up against everybody. Johnson, 4 catches for 27 kind of harmless yards. Poppy Williams was 3 for 14, and the other guy, Blue, didn't have any catches.
Yeah.
And those guys have been catching balls on everybody all season, and they're a handful to deal with. And Notre Dame's pass rush is a big reason, and Notre Dame's secondary. The one thing that they were able to find some soft spots, Notre Dame's pass defense, was when Desmond Reed had Drake Bowen. He was able to, and Desmond Reed is one of the best receiving running backs in the country, but that Drake Bowen matchup wasn't a good one on some of the downs early. But, other than that, those are the leaders, and they're just, collectively, it was super impressive. For a team that's been putting up a lot. That was the number 6 scoring offense in the country, even with their garbage touchdown for 15 points.
Don't say garbage time. We're not allowed to, remember. I'm just joking.
Well, I can say it about Pitt. Pat Narduzzi's not going to yell at me, I don't think.
Let me pop this up real quick. Speaking of Pat Narduzzi, this is the exchange. We didn't watch this. We went live right away. Here's the post-game exchange. Very quick, Marcus Freeman.
He didn't get that could have been a hug. And he said, you know what? I need to go talk to my team. This is going to be a handshake and a half hug. That's okay.
I'm 100% reading into it. I love it. Bring it to me. I love it, Marcus. Love it. All right. Let's continue on. We'll look at some not so great plays from the game. This was CJ Carr's interception. Fields comes down in motion a little bit, and Carr just, it's kind of similar to Heinschel's interception from Tate Johnson, honestly. Just does not see the safety in the middle of the field, Eric.
Yeah, and really good return by the hyphenated kid, Bain Marquez.
Yeah, it was. So, yeah, quarterbacks throw picks. Not going to dwell on it a whole lot. But what I am going to dwell on was this catch by Malachi Fields. This was stuff of, I mean, like this is the thing that like you don't see in a box score. You do see the 35-yard completion, but that he did snap the ball when he knew he had the offsides and then thinks, let's throw it up to Malachi Fields. You know, like
right.
He is advanced as a quarterback in a lot of the details part of the position.
I'm pretty sure that was 3rd and long as well.
3rd and 15.
Yeah. And this catch was crazy. When they slowed it down, I thought there's no way. And I had already seen him catch it.
I think I have that copy.
This is a different version of Malachi Fields than I've seen. I mentioned to him after the game when we were doing the interviews last week, because I had talked to Michael Floyd, and I said, Michael, what do you think about the comparisons to him? And he said, I can see it. And he said he just needs to play with confidence. And then I mentioned that Michael Floyd had agreed with the comparisons, and he looked like Michael Floyd today. And I think if they get this version of him in the playoff, he's going to be a handful. He's had some big catches for them this year, but he was a consistent threat today.
Yeah, of course, Fields, 7 receptions, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, catching 7 of the 10 targets. That was his best game in a Notre Dame uniform. With those 2 touchdowns, Notre Dame 387 total yards to Pitt's 219. Let's take a look at a sack. Adon Schuler here on a little bit of a delayed blitz.
Oh, yeah.
The stunts. I mean, Notre Dame sacking Heinschel 4 times. Now, there was the one where Josh Burnham kind of pushes him out of bounds, but it counts as a sack because he was behind the line of scrimmage. But Burnham had 2 sacks early in the first quarter. I mean, Heinschel looked like a true freshman today. Like, he did not look like this. I'm not trying to dog the kid, but like so much hype and excitement about the kid. And I watched video with Landon, breaking down Heinschel, and kid looks awesome. And it seemed like he was out of sorts from that drop. His 1st and 10, Pitt's opening drive, moving the ball, throws a dime, kid drops it. And I feel like after that just was not great. But yeah, Notre Dame really had his number.
Yeah, and they really took advantage of Pitt's weaknesses. I mean, Pitt has not been a balanced offense. They've given up a lot of sacks this year, and they've turned the ball over a lot. And Notre Dame said, guess what? We're coming with pressure, and we're going to see what you're made of. And I'll tell you what, Mason Heinschel is going to be a heck of a quarterback.
Yeah.
Some of the things that he did were really special, but he doesn't have a lot of help. And Notre Dame had a great game plan, and it rattled him. And if I were even a seasoned quarterback, I wouldn't want to play Notre Dame defense right now. I would like to see a Miami Notre Dame rematch, actually.
It's not going to happen, but that would
be amazing. It's not going to happen, but I just don't think Miami's going to be able to get up to that point.
Notre Dame
A&M almost lost today, yeah.
Yeah, I do want to get to that. This is, crazy. Jeremiah Love is so talented. I really do think
that was a good game for him to be in the spotlight, because the next 2 weeks he won't be, no matter what his numbers are. The Heisman voting people are not, other than the ones in our market, are not going to see him. And there are 4 of us on the staff.
Right. Yeah. We were asked in our staff chat. I don't remember what you answered, but someone on the Blue and Gold message board, please subscribe to blueandgold.com. It's really the place to be for Notre Dame fans. Someone asked, will Love get an invite to New York? And I said, if he has a great game and like a great moment against Pitt with all of the attention on him, I think so. Like, Eric, I don't know about your Twitter timeline, but mine was just all these like national podcasts and all these ESPN guys and draft analysts just loving up Jeremiah after that touchdown. And I just think there's so much national buzz that even if his numbers aren't like Genty's, like Jeremiah Love's numbers aren't close to Genty's last year, right? But I just feel like there's so much
Genty
love.
Was old school. I mean, that guy carried it like 40 times
right.
a game.
I just feel like there's so much love for Jeremiah that he's got a chance to get that invite, because he's just such a talent. He's just such a talent. He's just a game-breaking talent who just has so many good moments. I do think that he should get an invite. I don't think he'll win it. I'm not even saying he should win it, but I think that he should get an invite, especially if they go with 5. If they go with 3, it's going to be really dicey. But if they invite 5 to New York, Jeremiah Love should absolutely be included in that.
I would agree with you. I mean, I think the 2 Big Ten quarterbacks are going to be the Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
And then who else? And so some of these games that are played in November are going to determine who the other people are and how deep the Heisman goes in terms of invites. I know when I covered the one in 2012, was only 3 got invited when it was Manti and Klein and Johnny Football.
Yeah.
Which I think is still the laziest nickname in the history of football. Johnny Football.
Invite, how does he not win? Who is better? Listen, brother, again, Ashton Genty had 2,400 rushing yards last year and did not win it. So it's really difficult to win as a running back. I don't know if you're new to college football, Sean, but running backs just don't win the thing. It's a quarterback award.
When I first got into covering college football, it used to be a running back award. And quarterbacks couldn't win it, but it's quarterbacks now. It's hard if you don't have something to go with that, like kickoff returns or punt returns, or you play defense.
Yeah.
If Jeremiah Love was on their goal line defense, something else to give him. The thing that he does have in his favor is social media.
Yeah.
Because you really need to see him to appreciate him. You look at the numbers and go, 147 or whatever yards. And it was 94 against Navy. But when you watch him, you go, whoa, this guy I've not seen things like this. And that's where social media will help Jeremiah Love out in terms of where he might get an invite.
Yeah. Two Tap says, J Love has the most TDs of any non-quarterback. That's exactly my point. If a non-quarterback is going to make it to New York, it should be Jeremiah Love. But it's just, if they go to 5, he's going to be invited. If they invite 3, is he number 3 or is he number 4 in the voting, or is he 5? Like that. So that's where it gets really close. But let's continue on. Eric Landon tweeted Malachi Fields jump ball machine touchdown. So this was another one where
offsides.
DJ Carr got him offsides and takes a shot. And this is a really nice ball and a really nice play by Malachi Fields. Would you even like to see some goal line fades? If Notre Dame is not a great red zone offense team, this is not. I don't think they've really tried goal line fades to Fields.
I think they'd like to see that. I know early in the year there were times where CJ checked out of those plays. I can say that.
Okay.
Very, very early in the year. And now I think he would have the confidence to throw that. I think also if Jaden Greathouse came back, we would see fades to Jaden Greathouse, depending on what the nickel matchup looked like. If he wasn't against a physical nickel, I could see, again, Jaden Greathouse muscling somebody in fades. I do think they'd throw the fade ball to Jaden Greathouse.
All right. Not great camera work here by ESPN, but this was a really
nor great announcing work by Joe Tessitore. He just doesn't tell you enough about what's going on in the game. He makes Jesse Palmer carry a lot of water.
Maybe I just don't pay attention. I could not give 2 shits about announcers unless they're really, really bad. Or
when I was
cringy.
Covering it remotely, and I kind of wanted to know what yard line it was on, or how much yardage was on a play. That would have been helpful. He just doesn't say.
But this was a really important play early in the game. 0-0, 3rd and 8. Eric, you talked about this earlier. Pitt was 0 for 13 on third downs.
13 on third downs.
This would have been 1 for 1.
Right. And again, does that show up? They might have given him a pass breakup on that, but it shows up in Pitt stats. You don't get a tackle for that. You're not getting an interception for that, but that was a huge play. So again, they
gave him a PBU, Eric.
Okay, good. They needed to on that.
Maybe. Did this play end up? No, I don't think they did actually. Never mind. I'm looking at it. He got a pass breakup on, but it says clock was 2:27, and this was so maybe he got a pass breakup on the next play. Nope, never mind. This is 3rd and 8. No, this was it. So I'm sorry, Eric. They did give him a PBU.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a heck of a play and very easy. Like, I feel like it's common to see this exact moment for a safety, and you dive at the ankles, and it's a touchdown because you're like there's so much focus on like the big hit element as of safety is just not there anymore because you don't want to target.
Right. And it was such a textbook clean
And
hit.
it was so impressive. Look at that. It's very impressive by Adon Shaw. I can't say enough good things about him. I do have a couple other things. Eric, did you see this? How bizarre.
Whoa.
Did you not see this?
No.
Yeah, this was all over my feed that this policeman just bumps in, throws a little elbow, and then goes after it. I thought that was crazy. I could not.
That looks like a Dr. Pepper commercial. I can't believe that's real.
Real quick, Malachi Fields in his 2nd touchdown of the day. Notre Dame does like running these in the short yardage situations. These, the little kind of pick plays, little outs, get CJ on the move, and this time it did work. So good.
Yeah, that was impressive. And I think we'll see more of that. And again, Mike Denbrock and CJ Carr both did a really good job of finding where the soft spots were in that Pitt defense. And there isn't a ton of them. They've played very good defense. They were a top 25 defense overall. It was interesting because one of the teams that really got them, scored a lot of points on them, was NC State. Now, that was a track meet. It was a 53-34 game. But I think there were things in that NC State film that could give Notre Dame a lot of good ideas about how to attack Pitt from a balanced standpoint. And I thought Notre Dame did a great job today because I think that the tendency would be, let's just throw it over the top. Let's just throw it over the top. But Notre Dame made sure that they stayed balanced and they had a really good running game and they had some of those big shot plays.
I got a couple more plays, and let's talk about kind of the scores from around the country. Please hit the thumbs up, of course, on the video, folks. The CJ Carr pick 6, short side of the field. A lot of Pitt players but I mean, I really think this is just a nice play by this
Rasheem Biles.
Yeah, he just break. I mean, he's blitzing. He just makes a heads-up play. It's kind of just an unfortunate thing. Like, listen, I know you guys just want to blame Denbrock, and yeah, there's definitely some blame to go on Denbrock, but I think there's more. It's kind of just an unfortunate thing that he blitzes in that moment, and he's just there at the right time. And if there's a pie chart about like who gets credit / blame for this play, it's mostly credit by this Pitt player. That's a really nice play.
Biles had missed the last 3 games. This was his first game back. He's special. Their linebackers are impressive. Kyle Lewis, too. I put him in that category. They play 3 linebackers a lot.
Yeah.
And they can get away with it because of guys like Biles who are that athletic.
Yeah. Again, and I'm not putting that on Carr. I don't know how you could. But then, Eric, they tried to go for 2 to make it a 28-11 game. And this is what we get from Adon Schuler.
Yeah. Jesse Palmer thought he was getting a little handsy in the end zone. Maybe I didn't see it like that. I thought they were both kind of handsy. And I thought this was amazing. And Jesse made a good point that a lot of guys would have just taken a knee at that point. Adon said, I'm going to see what I can do with this. And then about here you go, maybe this is 2 points. And just the Notre Dame players were very alert to set up blocks and not do something silly down the field. And what a great play.
The 2-point interception does not count as an interception. It's one
Correct.
Of those kind of
in the stats,
statistical quirks, if you will. And then that's all I have for looking at some tape, Eric. But just kind of looking around college football, some scores. I I thought I had a window pulled up to screen share, but as we are live here, Oklahoma is up 10-0 against Alabama, which is, I mean,
not
look,
a
it's
good scenario necessarily for Notre Dame, although Notre Dame did take care of business.
yeah. Look, Notre Dame after that performance, if they handle business against Houston, Stanford, they're like 90 to 95% sure they're in, but you would feel more comfortable if Oklahoma loses to Alabama. Like if Oklahoma and Texas both win today, it's possible they could jump Notre Dame, but I don't think so. Probably after that performance, like that was our chatter.
Well, Oklahoma, yeah. The dilemma would be Oklahoma and Texas jumping Notre Dame, and Georgia and Alabama not falling behind Notre Dame.
Correct. Would all four now be above Notre Dame, which would drop the Irish from 9 to 11. So that would be tricky.
But I think Notre Dame made such a strong case today.
Yeah.
It makes it harder for the committee to not drop one or both of those teams. Now, again, we don't know what's going to go on in the Texas-Georgia game.
I was up 14-0 right now, early in the second quarter.
Yeah, that is not a good outcome for Notre Dame. They would like USC to be strong, even if USC just beat Oregon, but the stronger USC is, the better it is for Notre Dame.
Yeah, Miami up 10-0 against NC State, and Oregon, beat up on Minnesota, kind of to be expected there. Michigan ekes out a win over Northwestern. Michigan is just fraudulent. How about Texas A&M? 31-30 comeback win, outscoring the Gamecocks 28-0 in the second half.
Yeah, 30-3 at halftime. I do think that helps Notre Dame. That keeps, you don't want to get in, you don't want Texas A&M to be in the at-large pool. If Texas A&M wins the SEC, that's the best case scenario for Notre Dame. And the fact that if Texas A&M is an undefeated team, that also helps Notre Dame's resume. So I thought that was a good outcome for Notre Dame. And then they have their next danger opponent is Texas in the finale, the regular season finale.
Left Twix, who cares? Notre Dame wins out there, and probably right, but
you can't say that when it's subjective.
Like, I swear, these kind of comments, are you listening? Like, did you hear what we had to say about that scenario where all four of those SEC teams could be above Notre Dame? If Oklahoma, they're up 10-0. If Oklahoma beats Bama and then Texas beats Georgia, like I just wonder what is going on in your brain, Left Twix. You're here all the time. Like I know you. That's why I feel like I'm comfortable having this conversation.
Is there a right Twix as well?
No, there's not. Just our Left Twix. Like what are you like? Do you just hear what we said and like, nah, forget it. Don't care. It's not my truth. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Like there's a scenario there where it could get, like, Notre Dame could get bumped out. It's unlikely.
Well, the magic number for Notre Dame they would need to be is 10th. We figure that the two lowest conferences are going to be the 11 and 12 seeds, that they probably won't be in the top 12 in their ranking, that the ACC champ and let's say the group of 6 champ will be 11 and 12. So you need to be 10. Notre Dame is 9 now. And again, if Texas and Oklahoma both win, do they jump Notre Dame? There's a chance that they would. Do Georgia and Alabama not drop behind Notre Dame? That's the scenario that we're talking about. Now, again, Ole Miss would have to not stumble, let's say against Florida or in the Egg Bowl. USC, Oregon, or Oregon, Washington could be tricky with that game being up in Seattle, the Oregon-Washington game. But I do think Notre Dame will end up being in the playoff. And again, they really helped themselves today, even with the garbage touchdown, just dominating Pitt so much. And it's going to be interesting because Miami still has to play Pitt. Can Miami dominate Pitt by a bigger score than Notre Dame? And if they can't, it quiets down, I guess, the head-to-head crowd, that where head-to-head is everything and nothing else counts on your resume.
Pitt will drop out of the top 25, but they could end up around top 15. If they beat Georgia Tech and Miami.
Right.
They could be, in that 15 to 18 range, which could end up being Notre Dame's best win.
I think they got a good shot against Georgia Tech. I'm not sure about Miami. I think Miami, when you think about Miami's pass rush against Pittsburgh's offensive line, I don't like that matchup for Pittsburgh, but we'll see.
Yeah. Dan is telling me I just got to believe. Look, I just got done saying it's like Notre Dame wins out. I would say they're like 90 to 95% in. It's just like, even if that doomsday scenario, doomsday's a little much, but if OU and Texas win, it's not ideal, but I still think
Alabama still could come back in that game. The other thing is,
it's 10-7 right now.
Okay, if OU dominated them, if they beat them 37-15, then Alabama definitely drops behind Notre Dame.
So there's a lot to take place. Derek said that last touchdown shouldn't go against them in the ranking, right?
It would not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's not going to. And even if it was a legit touchdown, which it wasn't, 37-15 is against an offense that's been putting up the numbers that Pitt has.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to the committee chairman, who's no longer the committee chairman. I guess we'll be hearing a new one on Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe Miami will jump into the top 10 because we have a new guy.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be Miami's athletic director. No, I'm just kidding. So,
oh gosh, that would be something.
Well, they're supposed to recuse themselves. So
right.
They did name somebody new. It wasn't from Miami. I don't remember who it was.
It was the Baylor guy. I don't remember either.
Yeah, Baylor's AD is the one that stepped away because there's some craziness going on in Baylor's programs. It's not related to the college football playoff.
Right on. All right, we are going to end the show there. Much more to come on this YouTube channel and our website, blueandgold.com. So make sure you lock in, folks. If you're just tuning in, rewind from the beginning. Some really good stuff with Eric Hansen. Please hit the thumbs up on this video if you have not done so yet. And as always, folks, we will catch you next time.